Duke City. It's time for a great afternoon of sports entertainment talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, two men on with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The
Like that.
Hello, Albuquerque. It's Friday. You know what that means? That means the boys are at the ballpark. Excited to be here. And if you don't get here today, tomorrow, or the next, then you can't come in all of June.
That's the bummer. Our boys are going to be on the road for 2 straight weeks, and I'm sad already. They're gone for 2 weeks.
I think you'll survive. I think you will survive. There's a lot going on between now and then, including U.S. Open, which our Isham Dental Soundbite of the Day will give you a little bit later in the program as a fun hole-in-one. But you told me a UNM alum. Is that what you said?
That's right, my man.
And so Victor Perez had a big one earlier, so we'll go over that at length. A ton going on in the world of baseball. It feels like we're deep into summer now, which is really nice. So you're going to get to start seeing all of our favorite things, which is weird jerseys and position players breaking pitching records, because that's how baseball is right now, Van.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Any weird baseball statistic, any weird baseball fact, any weird baseball happenings, sign me up.
Back at the studio is Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah?
No welcome this time. Usually
It's coming in fighting today, Van. Yeah.
usually you welcoming me in, it feels all super nice and fruitful.
Feel bad for
We're 2
his
minutes.
weekend.
We're 2 minutes into the show, Zay.
Yeah.
We're still welcoming you right now.
This is what a therapist would call manipulation. This is I don't have to be the exact emotion that Isaiah says I have to be. It's not how relationships work. So you pick fighting today, Isaiah. That's what you're saying?
Okay.
No. I pick coming in hot.
Oh, wait, let me see. I bet you I know what it is. Let me look something up. Las Vegas Cowboys line on the season. 7.5.
Is that your guess?
That's what they say. All right, so that's what it is. They don't think the Cowboys are going to win 8 games in Vegas. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's been a problem for like a month for me.
Okay,
It's been my issue. It's been killing me. But I'm also going to make a lot of money off that line.
Plus 600 to win the East. Don't do that. Plus 200 to make the playoffs. Don't do that. Minus 275, Van, to miss the playoffs. I see, Isaiah. I'm following you now. I see where your energy is coming from. Vegas says they suck.
I would have guessed 8.5, but 7.5 is also very reasonable. me doing this show and being the leading sports prognosticator, dare I say, in Albuquerque or the Southwest United States, probably the world, maybe the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just right on. Like, that's exactly the right line.
7.5.
Okay.
Did they drop? I thought it was 8.5, and then they got George Pickens, and it dropped a game.
Oh, gosh.
404, June 13th. Write this down.
That's when I first saw the line that the experts picked.
It's not just us, man.
Yeah, we get it, dude. Hey, we're feeling for you. You don't got to take it out on us. That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, you'd be mad at Vegas. You could be mad at Jerry Jones for not figuring out any deals early enough to save this team any money to actually do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could actually run the gambit of reasons, but you don't take it out on Van and I. We love
experts. Love you too. Those experts had the Commanders going 7-10 last year.
Well, that's before they knew about Jaden Daniels. What do they have him at this year?
He'd be a dude.
Yeah, what's he at this year? Is it 10? Is it 10-5?
It probably is. Sounds about right.
My question is, and this is the best bet, sports fans, What week will Joe Milton III take over for Dak Prescott?
It's a great question.
Is it the same number, 7.5, as in halfway through week 7? Is that the over/under?
Well, he'll get a lot of reps versus Green Bay when we blow you guys out by the third quarter.
Now, who's we?
Ooh, that's personal. See, he's making it personal. First off, he came in hot. He was sad we didn't welcome him, and now he's upset about his Cowboys, and now he's firing back already.
All right.
This is the spicy Zay
I just
that
looked
I
up.
prefer.
I just looked up that Green Bay game that Isaiah was talking about that he thought was significant, and
Packers 4.5-point favorite.
it's a night game, so the Cowboys are cooked.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna. They don't do well on prime time. They this poor team. First they couldn't hire Dion, then they stuck with their crappy quarterback. Then they wasted their first-round draft pick on a no-name out of Alabama. And now this. Is Antonio Brown available? Can they get him?
From where? Prison?
He's on the lam. Did you see he's on the lam? Wanted on charges of attempted murder. The altercation from almost a month ago resulted in detainment, no initial charges. After investigation in Miami, a warrant has now been issued for his arrest.
About time. He finally had to face consequences for shooting in a crowd of people.
Yeah.
He's gotten away with everything else throughout his whole career, throughout his whole life, because he was good at football. Now that he's not playing football, he will have to now face consequences for his actions. Took a while.
As far as coverage of crimes being committed by athletes after they're done being professional athletes, number one, OJ.
Duh.
Okay, number one, OJ.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's trying, though.
He's up there.
He's doing that stuff.
Yeah. Good thing he's part stormtrooper and he didn't hit anybody with those strays. Yeah.
At least like OJ, help me out here. Was there not that anybody would have expected him to do what he did, but like, was there anything else he did that was like, yeah, this guy's a head case before that? Or was it just completely
the Naked Gun movies?
No, opposite. So, his CTE football brain, yeah, sure, he's very capable of that. The excellent acting work that he did in the Naked Gun series, there's no way I thought that guy was a murderer.
I don't think his family let people like not search his brain, like look at it to see if he had CTE.
OJ?
I think they elected
let's
to not.
look that up because I don't know. All right, according to this, there's conflicting. I will have to look more into this.
Okay.
When he died, 2019?
That's what this says, but I feel like it was way more recent than that.
You think he died twice?
Technically, he might as well have.
Yeah, so okay. So I'm seeing something from the Mercury News. I don't know what that is. That says they did not allow them to look in his brain.
Because it's kind of like a for sure thing at this point, right? Like you know the guy had CTE.
The most weird time of social media, I will say, is when he did get out and he made a Twitter account and was like making videos, smiling, like not necessarily taunting anybody with his words, but like with his face, with how happy he looked to be able to post videos in a golf cart and things like that. It's like his happiness was taunting, basically.
Like a guy who got away with murder? Something like that? Is that his got away with murder face? Because that's the face I would make too.
He used to beat linebackers and then he beat the Chargers.
Let me be very clear here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the first part. The murder part, I'm never going to do. Like it's not on my bucket list. But the getting away with murder, that's the same face I would make, I think.
Handful of things I'd want to get away with. Put murder on the list if I were to do that.
If you were to.
If I were to.
You would want to get away with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to purge, basically. Not that you want one, but what would happen?
What?
You'd take advantage of a purge if it happened?
What do you mean, like spring clean?
I guess sort of.
Yeah.
I mean,
what you do in a purge, Zay, is you hang all the shirts in your closet backwards. And if you go 6 months later
and they're still backwards,
you get rid of those shirts. That's the purge.
Who are our guests whenever we get back, man?
2 British interns. That's all the information I have.
All right.
And boy, am I excited for this.
Get ready for accents and then impersonations of accents. It's 2 Men On, live from the ballpark, 95.9 FM. No, we are not on 95.9 FM. The mountain is broken.
Still broken?
The transmitter is down. We're only on 6:10 a.m. and live streams and the podcast if you're listening post.
Yeah.
And if you're across the pond, because these 2 kids send it to their friends and family, FM in Albuquerque does not work.
And also now it's on top of the mountain. It's just a mitter in this administration.
Can no longer be trans.
Yep.
2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. Again, that's not true. The sports animal. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We are at the ballpark. Isotopes play baseball tonight. And we're not just exposing it to the fans here in Albuquerque, Van. We're exposing it to our friends across the pond. As joining us is Ben Reed and Will Cole. They are interning for who?
That would be NCFB from Wembley University.
Oh, Let's go. All right, Ben and Will, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Oh, it's like an echo in here.
Yeah. I wasn't told that they're British.
No, they did you confirm British? Because I think there's more than one over there.
Was UNM? There's no interns here from Albuquerque.
Yeah, we couldn't get.
You had to reach all the way across the pond to grab these two kids.
The Caribbean only sends players.
Okay, no Dominican interns, just players.
Ben and Will, welcome. You flew straight here from, I assume, London.
Yeah.
So you drove. You flew over all the cool spots to stop, and then got to Albuquerque. To the coolest.
The coolest,
Let's
baby.
go.
We went all the way over to Phoenix, actually. So we ended up going past Albuquerque and then back to Albuquerque. So it was a longer flight than what felt necessary.
Well, in the United Kingdom, you don't have layovers, right? Because everything's like so close.
Yeah. It's real close, yeah. We've got like 4 different countries within the space of like 4 hours of each other.
Now, you know they have different definitions, man. So all of it together, I believe, is called, correct me when I'm wrong, the Isles. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we've got different names for it. So United Kingdom, Great Britain, and then the countries of like England, Scotland, Wales, and those are the British Isles.
Did not mention Ireland.
The Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth. Didn't mention Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
No, hey, we get it.
Sometimes you don't include Ireland.
Yeah. You didn't notice this red hair and pale, pasty skin and mention Ireland? Come on, boys. Careful here. You're tiptoeing.
So you came here and they said it's kind of like cricket, and you guys are figuring it out.
Yeah, basically, pretty much. And we're just trying to work our way around the cricket rules. Yeah.
Well, technically, they invented rounders.
Yes.
Which we stole from them and made baseball.
Yeah.
Because that's what America does.
That's our
we
thing.
steal from other cultures and make it better.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, that sounds pretty accurate to me. Yeah. We created rounders, and that's. I mean, we still somewhat play rounders. That's probably more known than baseball. If you ask the British person about baseball, they say, "Oh, it's like rounders, no?" And it's like, not really, you know.
But in rounders, they run the wrong way, just like they drive on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah. So you guys love that stuff.
Yeah.
So when you told all your friends and family you were coming to America, did you say you were going to America, or did you say you were going to Trump's America?
Well, I didn't mention the latter. I said, I'm going to Albuquerque. I beg your pardon?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
good answer.
You know New Mexico? Oh, yeah. New Mexico, I know that.
Known for Breaking Bad more than anything.
There it is.
That's the one,
Worldwide reach, Fred.
Speaking of worldwide, tourism down 12% this quarter for the United States. Thinking about pulling the Olympics and the World Cup out. Let's go.
Okay.
We're really ruining it.
Hey, what's London doing next year? Do they want the World Cup?
You guys want that thing?
Oh, we would be able to afford that. No chance.
Not in this economy.
Have you guys seen pro wrestling at Wembley?
I have not.
No, not pro wrestling. There's been a lot of other events, though.
They put 85,000 people in there for pro wrestling.
Isn't
that crazy?
Mega.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Nothing else was going on that day.
Not over there.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
All the hotels were booked up. So you guys are here running media. You're doing what? You're learning through the Rockies. You're learning through the Isotopes. Kind of walk us through the college partnership with learning the game and media.
Yeah, so we're just learning about sort of the different culture that's surrounded within American sports compared to British sports, because it is vastly different. You know, like the main example would be the number
hooligans.
of sponsorships.
Yeah. Oh,
well, yeah. I mean, in England, there's also hooligans. Yeah. So it is very different in the way that you try and market the sport itself as a more of an event as well as a sport. Whereas in England, the selling point is the sport itself. So if your team's bad, your numbers have nothing. You know.
Yeah.
You're never going to.
That's why you pick the Rockies, because they're terrible, but they have so many fans.
So we get the best of both worlds, really.
It is kind of the best of both worlds.
Well, I mean, you're here in Albuquerque at Tope Stadium, and obviously you haven't traveled the country and saw a bunch of AAA minor league stadiums. But I like to tell you, boys, you're very spoiled to be here at this one.
Yeah.
This is the nicest one. This is incredible. This is major league quality. And also major league quality is the operations here.
Yeah.
So you're seeing like a super professional professionally ran organization here.
Yeah, it's been really cool. It's really cool to sort of see how each team operates and then works together to create a game of baseball pretty much every day, and that's something that we don't see in the UK.
Well, and what you also haven't seen, because you got here last week,
Yeah.
is you haven't seen baseball on a weekend yet.
No.
So the fan base is thicker. It's bigger. It's going to be more well attended. Drinking will be higher, and the enthusiasm.
I'll help.
Yeah, will be intensified. It's not Wednesday day game like field trip matinee baseball. It's get loose because the weekend is here baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, over in England with football, that's always on a weekend, but people usually drink beforehand and not in the stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's going to be the opposite way around.
Yeah, price savings.
Correct. Yeah. Up until the 7th inning stretch, then you're cut off.
Yeah. It's not arbitrary. It's for insurance. So you guys got here from the United Kingdom, as you mentioned, and then you saw your first mountain. What was that like?
Big. I mean, that's probably the best way to describe it more than anything. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was really scenic, actually, in Albuquerque. I wasn't expecting it. I was just expecting, like, deserts, and that's it.
Yeah, and blue
hot
meth.
weather, and blue meth most of the time. But no, it was more scenic than I thought. So, yeah, it was really cool.
What's the most striking thing that's hit you so far since you've been here? Like, what are you like? What is this? I don't understand. Whether it's cultural or food or geographical. Or what's the thing that's like? Oh, this is different.
The food is a big one. We got in, and the first thing we spotted was the size of a normal Diet Coke bottle. Increasingly larger than the size that we have. And it was like Diet Coke had grown weight all of a sudden within the space of the 10 hours we were on the flight. So that was the big thing. As soon as we got in here, the first thing we noticed, really.
Trying to look up, Van, what the largest standing clock tower is in the United States. I don't think it's Big Ben. Like, I can't find.
There's not like one random city who's like, we have to do better than Big Ben. We're making it bigger. We're making it taller.
Also, our Coca-Cola is bottled.
Is there not a Trump executive order yet?
I can't find.
We're going to have the biggest clock tower. We're putting it in Boise, Idaho.
We're actually calling it Big Benjamin. It's even longer.
Big Ben Franklin. He's better.
I like that one a lot. Well, excuse me, joining us on the program are two interns from the Isotopes, Ben Reed and Will Cole. They are both from England or England adjacent. We didn't quite really nail that one down, did we? But they're here now on a fun exchange program. All right, so you both are young bloods, right? You've never done radio. You're learning the world of media. After you get this exposure, and I'm sure many others, what's the plan? How are you going to end up contributing to sports?
Oh, do you want to go first on that one?
Yeah, so I've just finished my last year of university/college, and I want to get into commentary. So obviously football, soccer, that's a big one for us, would be the main sport. But anything else, I mean, exposure like this only intensifies or increases the words gone. The want to see more. And I think that mainly plays a part in actually being here live rather than, on a TV.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent note. There's, like you mentioned earlier, or maybe this was off the air, the idea of taking a live event to a broadcast event is incredibly different than trying to create solely a broadcast event. And I know you guys have seen it here, but that's why you come to Isotopes Park. Like, hey, watching the subscription on MILB TV is awesome. It's super cool. Josh Susan's a saint. He does a great job. But you don't see the chili race between innings. You don't see the T-shirt toss. You don't see what's your favorite one where they hold up baby Simba? Hold up baby Simba.
That one.
Yeah, it's a whole experience here at the ballpark. And like we mentioned, you guys getting that exposure is going to help you down your path. And then smarten us up, Ben, what's your desire?
Well, I'm only in first year at the minute, so I'm sort of like a baby compared to Will in terms of my journey forward. So I'm still, I know it's quite typical, but I'm still trying to figure out what is that path that I want to go into. For me, the big one at the minute is sort of being like in TV directing. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. So that's something that I think my primary target is at the minute. So yeah.
All right, let's get this question out of the way. Yeah. What people really want to know, what the friends of the show really want to know. is have you ran in the chili race this week while you're here? What day are you going to do? You have.
Yeah, I was with the promo crew last night for the game, and they were like, well, Forrest, who's been, showing us around, he was like, oh, no, they actually get people from the stands to do the chili race. And we thought it was...
We thought it was set mascots who had a competition between each other that just did it every single day.
Yeah, we thought it was
constantly.
paid employees. So when he mentioned that, I was like, I'll do it. I will do it. So I ran yesterday, and it's fairly controversial.
Taco?
No, salsa.
Yeah.
He went before he said go. Before he didn't say go.
Shocking.
So it was shocking. I got conned out. I came second. So I got conned out.
Okay, you're rocking the Air Force Ones right now. Did you run in the Air Force One? Or did you have your special sprinting shoes on?
No, I ran in my Air Force Ones. All I got told was don't go on the dirt. So I was just looking at my feet, trying to keep on the grass, but also take the inside line.
Now, Van, you asked the question that everyone wanted to know, but I'm just going to ask the question that you want to know.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
How does British Tinder compare to American Tinder?
Important question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say in terms of distance, obviously, when you put that radius on, it's a bit more, in state in America, because the states are so big. Whereas if you go 50, 75 miles in England, you're basically going up to,
it's a different postcode, really.
Yeah, really different postcode.
There you go, Van.
Okay. I mean, on your Albuquerque Tinder profile, did you put tea and crumpets and chill?
I mean, that should work, hopefully.
Yeah, sure.
That's an instant like there, surely.
It's Bisco Cheetos and chill here.
So that is correct.
Right, okay.
Good sit down, boys. Good job.
Thank you.
Final words?
That. Go Isotopes.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, there you go.
Go Isotopes. Yeah, we'll stick with that one. Yeah.
When we get back from the break, we continue from the ballpark. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. It's our Isham Dental soundbite of the day, man. Isham Dental, abq.com. Go there, get the exclusive offer, a free exam and x-ray. Or you can call 505-881-0422. Tell them the boys sent you. I bet you they still give you the exam and x-ray. I don't know that for a fact. You know, you get that set of dentures, $1,000, $550 per arch. Otherwise, all forms of Medicare and insurance and Medicaid. Reach out to Scott Isham at Isham Dental ABQ. Our Isham Dental soundbite of the day, Van, is, of course, Victor Perez as he aces number 6 at Oakmont.
Just basically a straight shot, going right after it.
Major League chest bump.
Thank you to NBC and the coverage
That is
of the U.S.
huge.
Open.
Putting them right back close to that even part number now.
It's those kind of moments, man, that make you turn off your Teams camera when you're watching during work.
Yeah. Victor Perez out of Simiac, France. Lobo legend.
How is that a fact?
Golfed at UNM.
Wow.
Yeah, super cool. Albuquerque connection.
He should just do that every time
It's so much easier.
than putting.
Yeah. Who wants to do that on those greens? There's no way.
And then they did the chest bump.
That was sweet. Well timed, too.
It was like if you put two 2x4s together.
Yeah.
There was no gap. Here's the thing on a good chest bump.
Yeah.
You come forward in the chest. You want to have Elon chest.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Definitely chest first.
Chest first.
That's why it's called a chest bump.
Yeah. They did full frontal bump.
Yeah.
Their thighs clapped.
It was everything it was supposed to be and more.
It was a lot more than what it was supposed to be.
Justin Turner would have been proud.
Okay, that's from
Yeah.
That's from baseball.
That's going to be another Isham Dental soundbite.
It's a good recommend. If you're gonna celebrate something big, you have to know how to celebrate.
Mm.
And here's I'm
It's not like something they talked out and planned out. Like you don't go and before the round and like, hey, if I get a hole in one, dude, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna slam our bodies together.
This might surprise friend of the show, but celebrations are pre-planned. Like
not on holes in one.
Yes, they are.
No way.
So your caddy, who he did a full frontal bump with,
yeah.
What you have to do is as you're running up, you have to be going chest bump, chest bump, chest bump, chest bump. That way because neither of them were overly prepared. I think they thought it was going to be a hug. And then they did.
And then they just jumped.
They did a jump together.
Yeah.
It was as awkward as any two human beings have ever been celebrating the coolest thing you can do in sports.
But it worked out the way it matched up because they just kind of, it was like more of a collision, really.
You know the way that at the center of the earth that the Van Allen belts come together straight vertical and then they go back out around?
Yes.
They were the straight vertical part.
It was a full body bump. And I've got to see a replay. I'm not sure if big toes touched as well. But everything chest down, like chest to knees, were perfectly in unison.
All right, so I'm about to give you, Van, a replay that we're going to go through verbally. So, all right, so Perez tees off.
Okay, first off the club, looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's a no-doubter. And then it 2 hops and then rolls the hole. And then, dude, they did knees hit.
Yeah, it was chest.
It was chin to shin.
It was chin, chest, belly button, junk, thighs, and knees. And then they landed again.
Knees and toes. Now, for the sake of the listener, I'm going to try to pause it at the exact moment. That's a very good pause that I just did.
Incredible for your first shot at it.
It may be the best pause in the history. I could be John Madden, is what I'm trying to say here. Now, their eyes, nose, and lips are all completely equal.
They are so close to kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to be the exact same height and weight, too, for it to match up that perfectly.
Near, far, wherever you are.
What month is this, Fred?
It's June.
It's June.
So the caddy, who I don't know his name, we should look up. So he has Perez's name on the back of his jersey. And if you were standing
And
behind,
he's got Perez on the front now, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he does.
So
Now-
after watching this video, I feel like it definitely is something that they probably often do when they have a good shot. But because this one was a hole-in-one, there was like extra aggression to it. It was a super energized version of what they normally might do
Do you
in a
feel
celebration.
as if the caddy is not holding his space and is maybe infringing upon Perez's space? Do you feel that that is a sentence?
I think it's almost the exact reciprocal angle on the other side. It's matched up pretty perfectly.
Now, this is an off-air story that I'm going to bring on air real quick.
Oh, thanks.
So Van and I were watching the finals the other night, which, by the way, you can watch tonight. Van and
Should.
I were watching the finals the other night.
Unless you're here at Ice Stokes Park, of course.
And
you can watch on your phone.
That is correct. And a guy who knew me through fandom came up to me, Van, you recall this?
Not really, but go on.
And he stood over me as I sat at the table.
Okay.
And I said the phrase, "Please make space.
Uh-huh.
Please make space." That is what this feels like to me. This feels like when an excited fan comes up to you in a public setting and if you had a vertical imaginary line that people are not supposed to cross.
Sure.
It's being crossed with this chest bump.
And anybody 6 feet tall or taller who walks up to you too close, there's a certain region in your personal space that you usually don't want there.
Who's our guest after the break?
Oh, my goodness. We got Mookie Blaylock's nephew, Bradley, on the program.
Go. It'll be 2 men on. Well, 3 whenever we get back. 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal. Welcome back to Two Men On. Welcome back to the ballpark. I still play baseball tonight. They're going to play the Comets. If you want to see the Comets, well, first of all, you're cheering for the wrong team. Secondly, it's the only time they're here all season, so come out. Also, you have to wait till July till we play baseball again. But if you want to talk to an Isotope, you can call the program, 505-246-0610, because Bradley Blaylock's with us. Let's go.
Yeah.
Bradley, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Excited to have you here. We had a bunch of fun conversations off the air about how if you weren't a pitcher, what number you would wear, because you said low numbers are for position guys.
Right.
What?
Yeah. I mean, they just give us all the high numbers here, so kind of just got to leave those to those guys. They're always on the field.
So you don't even get to ask, just whatever
No.
number they give you.
Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
at spring training, they'll kind of ask you around, be like, hey, what number you want? But for the most part, it's just, here's your jersey.
Yeah.
Got your name on it, number, go pitch.
64, man.
You a 64 guy?
60, is that what you're wearing right now?
64.
That's a wild one.
Hey, I'd add 5 to that bad boy. Call it a day.
Dang. I think it's outlawed. You can't
Yeah,
wear
yeah.
that in Major
No.
League Baseball.
I think one guy wore it with the Astros.
Yeah.
Blue ball,
Yep,
Oh, that's super
69
sweet. Yeah.
correct.
It's,
for his debut or something, I think.
you can't wear it in the NBA, and then you can't have it in NASCAR.
It's been soft banned in the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard banned in baseball either. It's just kind of like another unwritten rule of baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
There we have it. We obviously we're
Also, instead of 69, just wear 55 for Kenny Powers. It's the same thing.
it's the same
It's the
exact
same
same
thing,
energy.
yeah.
But talking about numbers, your high school retired you, right? So you're from Georgia.
Yeah.
It just happened like a minute ago.
Yeah, this past November.
Let's go.
Got my jersey retired, so that was pretty cool.
Did you get to like walk out at halftime of the football game or something?
No, they just had a ceremony on a Saturday.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that came, but got a little emotional.
Yeah.
Tried not to, but it's always hard.
So you're 25?
24.
24. So somebody at that high school might still remember you.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like there's
couple people.
yeah. If me and Van go back to our high school, they go, who? What year?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just show him my arrest record. Be like, you remember this? You remember this work? Yeah.
I did a bunch of like weird tagging of stuff at high school. I wonder how much of it's still there, like in weird spots. Like,
yeah.
I remember in the auditorium we had this like it was like a basketball gym auditorium, and I wrote my name like behind where they had the wrestling mats and stuff. There's no way they've cleaned
No.
that in 20 something years, right?
No.
How is rural Georgia coming up? You love mosquitoes?
Good. Little more south. They're bad there, but
Yeah.
they're still bad. But it wasn't too bad. Got to experience it during the summer.
Yeah, big
But-
Braves guy or no?
Used to be.
Used to be, right?
I guess you could say used to be.
Yeah. And you, like, obviously at your age, you came to that fandom right after they were at that peak of like the pitching rotation. I'm sure you heard a million stories. Is that what got you into pitching? Was
I wouldn't say really that got me into pitching. I kind of just play. I never really pitched till my senior year of high school, which
Okay.
is crazy. But kind of played everywhere growing up, infield, outfield, pitched a little bit, but not too. I was probably the last pitcher on our team growing up. But my junior year, kind of travel ball coach told me I needed to start pitching if I wanted to go play somewhere. So kind of took that and ran with it.
So when did you gain your non-regional dialect? I'm not hearing any Georgia.
yeah, it's not
In
really.
your,
No.
in your accent. Is it you get a couple oat sodas in you? Does the Georgia come out a little bit?
No.
No?
I wouldn't say I haven't. I'm a little bit in north of Atlanta, north of Atlanta a little bit. So I don't really have that southern twang.
Okay.
My girlfriend's from like Savannah area.
Yeah.
She's actually from the middle of nowhere, and she has a little twang to her. So it's
Nice.
always I can always make fun of her. She always says words.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, there's something fun about athletes who grow up in the suburbs of city versus athletes who grow up in cities. And I feel, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong in your opinion, but athletes who grow up in big metropolises, maybe they specialized in a sport early. You know, maybe they only played baseball coming up. Is that your story, where you guy was able to play everything?
No, I played a little bit of everything until I got to high school.
Yeah.
Then it was kind of like, okay, I got to pick one. So I played growing up. I played a little bit of football here and there. I played I loved basketball.
Yeah.
And then I loved baseball too. So those were my two sports I always played. And then, and in the South, baseball starts in January and
Yeah.
basketball runs through March. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to play one of them, which one am I going to play? But chose baseball and kind of stuck with that. Thought I could make it this far. So
when you transitioned to a pitcher your senior year in high school, was it like a bummer for you at first that you weren't out? I mean, did you still play your normal position and pitch?
Yeah. So I pitched once a week on, I think, Wednesdays. So, like, we played Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and then some games on Saturdays. But I pitched, like, the Wednesday games. And then when I wasn't pitching, I would play shortstop. So that was always fun. Batted in the 3-hole, which was probably a mistake. But no, it was fun. We made it to the Final Four in my high school season, so that was pretty cool.
And drafted as a pitcher, or just like drafted as an athlete, we'll figure it out.
No, drafted as a pitcher. When I went to one workout with the Red Sox, and they were like, "Hey, we want to see you pitch," and I said, "Okay." So I pitched, and then I was supposed to go on like a senior trip or whatever, and had to cancel that because they were like, "Hey, we want you to throw in Fenway." So
yes,
I was like, "Okay,
sure.
I'd rather go up there and throw in that." So got to go up there and throw in Fenway, so that was pretty cool.
Bradley Blaylock is joining us, talking a lot about the game. Do you own a bat?
No, not anymore. Well, there's probably some from high school in my basement at home, but I couldn't tell you the last time I swung a bat.
No.
I always, whenever I go home for the off season, I'm like, I want to swing, but then it's just like I never get around to it. So just stick to the golf clubs.
I mean, off air, like during the commercial break, we're talking about position players pitching and like in a mop up situation. Do you ever like ask Pilo in a mop up situation, like, let me pinch hit, like let me get some swings, coach?
Yeah. No, I wish I need to. He probably would look at me like I was crazy though. But the other night I said, "Hey, do I need to go put my cleats on to run?" He just started laughing, just shook his head and turned away. So that was pretty cool.
We're having a lot of fun talking about the Isotopes. It's about as unique of a AAA experience as you can have, but you've had the Major League experience too, you know. So talk to us a little bit about getting up to the show, and talk to us about getting that call and kind of how that celebration was.
Yeah, so I made it. I debuted with the Milwaukee Brewers last year.
Yeah.
Before I got traded to the Rockies at the deadline in July. But I was on the bus back from Jackson, Mississippi. We were playing the Mississippi Braves there, and when I was in AA.
Yeah.
And so the pitching coach came up to me while we were on the bus, and he was like, "Hey, are you getting a phone call?" And I was looked at him like, "Am I getting? Why are you asking if I was getting a phone call right now?"
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I'm watching YouTube." Just like trying to waste time on the 2-hour bus ride we had back. And he's like, "Okay, hold on a second." So then I got a phone call from the manager, and he was like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm just watching some YouTube, like just trying to make this ride go by quicker." But he told me, he was like, "Hey, you're going to need to pack your stuff, and you're going to meet the team in Miami tomorrow." So that was pretty cool. Then I called my parents. I was supposed to start on the Tuesday after the off day that week. So I called my parents, and they're driving from Atlanta to Biloxi, and that's like a 6-hour drive. And they're like an hour away from Biloxi. And I'm like, "Hey, like, where y'all at?" And they're like, "We're like an hour away from Biloxi." I was like,
excited to see you.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, that's nice." I was like, "Well, I'm not going to be in Biloxi tomorrow." They're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, I'm going to the big leagues."
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, we got to figure it out what we're going to do." So they turned around, drove back, and they flew out of Atlanta. But I met the team in Miami. I was up for 3 days, and I didn't pitch. So I just got to kind of experience it.
Yep.
Was in the bullpen kind of just as an emergency guy. Then got sent back down. And when I got sent back down, I kind of struggled in the month of June last year.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, what do I'm trying to live up to an expectation that I don't need to.
Sure.
And then I got called back up when I least was expecting it, kind of when I was struggling. Went to Anaheim.
Yep.
And I didn't throw that night. Took the team bus to San Diego. And then I came in the 8th inning in a 6-4 ball game.
How
and that was pretty cool. And so that got out of it. And then we scored 2 runs in the top of the 9th. And I was like, oh, we're going to get a win. But then we got walked off on in the bottom of the ninth.
Can you take me through that moment when you get out on a major league field and your toe touches the major league rubber for the first time?
Are you starting in an inning? Did you trot out? What was it?
Yeah. So I came in the 8th fresh inning.
Yeah.
Kind of got told it was the bottom of the 7th. They're like, hey, get me and another guy warm. They were like, if the game gets 1 run or it's tied, the other guy was going in.
Yeah.
But if it was stayed the same, then I was going to go in. And so in San Diego, they got some stairs that are steep. So I was grabbing onto each side of the rail when I was going down, trying not to fall. But once I got out on the field and I kind of took the jog in from center field, I kind of took it all in real quick. But the jog in kind of helped calm my nerves some.
Nice.
And so, and then the just me being up there for 3 days before kind of got me to experience it a little bit, and I was ready for it.
Bradley
Nice.
Blaylock joining us. He's got a cool story of starting this thing, and we got to go to break. But shoot, I could have done this all day, brother. Good job.
Thank you.
You're not pitching today?
No, just hanging out, watching the game.
Yeah.
Maybe chirp some guys on the field for the Comets.
This is smart.
Got to get in their heads a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
sneak another win out of it for the boys.
I don't know who's in left field for the Comets tonight.
No, me neither.
Hey, you got to hear about it.
We
Though.
can chirp the umpires too from the dugout.
What are you chirping? 0-1-1-0-0-1.
Yeah, we're just saying like, if they're called a pitch that's not in the strike zone, just get on them a little bit. Even with the little ABS we got here. So
Yeah.
Even if it's in the strike zone, just give them a hard time.
Still got to make him second guess himself, though.
Oh
Right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
We've been told not to ask about ABS. Zooming on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Thank you, Bradley. The sports animal. I, of course, am Fred Slow. Van Nunley is here with me. Isaiah Johnson is back at the studio. We talked about the hole-in-one at the U.S. Open. I guess we could talk about the leaderboard. No one really cares till tomorrow, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal who and who doesn't make the cut. Because there are some exceptional golfers right now who are going to miss the cut.
This one has felt, if you're a golfer who plays golf very fast, you're probably doing well right now. Because the Open has felt like a sprint. There is not and maybe this is a TV thing. Maybe they're trying to, maybe they've actually tricked me. Maybe it's not a sprint. It just feels that way. But
I think it feels that way. The way the U.S. Open is set up is to induce you to make bad decisions. Oakmont is set up to be the hardest golf course in the world, and it is enticing the best golfers in the world to make really bad decisions. And that's what you're seeing. Like, a bogey is a par is a birdie is an eagle.
Yeah.
Eagles don't exist. Like, yes, literally yesterday we were talking about the albatross, the double eagle that Patrick Reed got.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's not going to make the cut.
No.
Yeah.
JT 4 putts today.
He got an albatross 3 under on one hole, and he's still not going to make the cut. That's how difficult this course is.
Can we talk about the real story, though?
Please.
What's up with all these bees?
It's a fertile golf course. I mean, there's no other way around it.
It's a very much a God save the queen kind of situation with like the queen bee. You know what I mean?
Yes, gotcha.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's the U.S. Open. We don't do that here.
All right, I was just trying. We had the British guys on earlier. I was trying to do a thing.
I mean, Hideki Matsuyama, Patrick Reed, Wyndham Clark, Lucas Glover, Ludwig Ardberg. Like, these are some of the best golfers in the world, and they're going to miss the cut. That's how difficult this course is. Keep going. Dustin Johnson, one of the best golfers in the world. Bryson DeChambeau. Like, these guys are not going to make the cut. That's how difficult this is.
All right, Van. Today's I-9 Varsity. It's impromptu. Today's I-9 Varsity is the I-9 Varsity of B nicknames for golfers.
Okay.
Reach out to I9 Sports at i9sports.com. League office 280 at i9sports.com. Phone office is 505-312-4999. Reach out today, Van. It is the I9 Varsity of B nicknames for golfers. Would you like to go first?
Yes, I will go first.
Okay.
First on my I-9 Varsity of B named golfers impromptu. I'm going to go with the aforementioned Bryson DeChambeau.
All right, that's very good.
How about that one?
Yeah, that's very good. I don't hate that one at all.
Thank you.
Give me Phil Buzzleson.
Fill my jar up with Honeyson.
Yep, that's a good one.
It's really good.
Yep. Isaiah?
My fellow left-hander, Bubba Watson.
Biba Watson.
Biba. Bubba.
Biba Watson.
Biba Watson.
Mm-hmm.
These are very good. Van?
Next on my impromptu I-9 Varsity of golfer B names.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to go with Hideki Matsuyama.
See, Isaiah said it because it was Bubba is a B letter. That's where he was going.
Yes, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Hideki Matsuyama.
Okay. B Kapka. Is that one?
Beeks.
Is that a good one?
I'm sure somebody thinks it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Could be like a drone joke here somewhere.
Sure.
Right? There's got to be.
Yeah.
Isaiah?
B Rabbit.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I'm sure he's golfed before. He may or may not have golfed throughout his whole life. All right. How about Jose Luis Ballestero Barrio?
Yeah, that one I don't get, but
he's not going to make the cut, and
right.
neither is that I-9 Varsity entry.
What about Nectar Nicholas?
That's good.
Yeah. It's like Jack Nicklaus, but
Gotcha. Not Jack Nectarless. You're not going to go with that one?
Jack Nectarless is even better.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something thorax.
Mm-hmm.
The brood Kepka. Is that one? Is
Okay.
brood work?
Patrick Bede. Not bad.
Wax? Is wax one? Is there a max?
Could be.
It could be wax. Wax Machado.
That's a good
There
one.
we go.
All
I knew we'd
right.
get there.
There it is. That's the one. Max Machado, of course, my co-host on the weekend golf program, Filling the Holes.
God, dude, we're so funny.
Shout out Maxie boy.
Watch the U.S. Open. It's better than all other golf. Watch the U.S. Open.
BB Rodriguez
Ah, dang it, dude.
instead of Chi-Chi.
That's so good.
Okay.
Brandon Ortega joins us after the break. They got a cool thing going on this weekend with the Isotopes and Roadrunner Little League. It's this very cool adaptive clinic. I've been a part of it every year, and how fortunate we are to have the recognition place allow us to have individuals on this show to recognize them and their efforts in the community to help others. And we will do that whenever we get back. It's 2 Men On.
At 2 under today, Victor Hiveland.
95.9 FM and AM 610. The sports animal. Welcome back to Two Men On. We're live at the ballpark, and a big thank you to the Recognition Place, trpnm.com, 505-881-9003, or info@trpnm.com. Reach out to the Recognition Place. Recognize the exceptional with exceptional awards, plaques, crystal awards, art, glass, acrylics, and everything in between. And what the Recognition Place does is it allows us, man, to recognize individuals in this community that are helping individuals in this community. And that today is Brandon Ortega of your Albuquerque Isotopes, as tomorrow he and Roadrunner Little League are partnering on their adaptive clinic. Is this the 4th year, Brandon?
Yeah, I think 2022
Isn't
was
that
the first
crazy?
one.
So I've done it 3 times.
Yeah.
How many times have you done
We
it?
love you. This is going to be my first.
So-
Well, no, I went once for Channel 4.
Okay. So actually, this is my thing. We're recognizing
This
me.
is more of your thing
Let's
than
go.
my thing. You know, and that's a big thing about my job. Everything that I'm involved in, it's a we thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big family effort. We were just when I say we, it was about 5 of us unloading the van today at Roadrunner Little League, getting it ready with the president, John De La Longa.
He's
Shout out to
super
John,
nice.
who's just the best. He's the coolest. And he's been involved from the beginning with Roadrunner Little League and this Play Ball Adaptive Clinic, which is a nationwide initiative with Major League Baseball. Every team around the country, minor league and major league, will be doing something as part of Play Ball Weekend. And we're honored to be a part of it again.
10700 La Grima de Oro Road. I'm guessing on that one, but it's, you guys know where Roadrunner Little League. It's up there in the Heights.
It's right off Montgomery and Wantabo,
Yeah.
probably the nearest
Correct.
major streets.
And big thank you to El Dorado High School, who's sending players from their baseball team and allegedly their softball team.
Team. I just got off the phone with
Yeah.
Coach Lydia, and she'll be bringing a 5-pack of her
Let's
Eagles.
go.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the Adaptive Clinic's all about. It's about joining forces with anybody that wants to help, and it's boys, it's girls, it's folks of all abilities, right? And the Adaptive Clinic is all about helping out folks with the physical and intellectual disabilities, and they get to be on the field just like everybody else tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
Well, let's take the friend of the show who isn't aware of what the Adaptive Clinic looks like. What does a day at the Adaptive Clinic look like?
Yeah, so 9 o'clock, we'll start 9 o'clock sharp, and we've got 5 stations. We'll have a base running station where the participants will have a noodle.
I call that one.
They could either swing it
Nice
and run with it, or they could swing it and drop it like it's a bat. We've got a pitching station. We've
call that one.
got T-ball.
I call that one.
We've got running.
I call that one.
Ladders, cones, cornhole. You
I
get to
call
do
that
all
one.
of them. You're gonna be rotating the way we're gonna do it tomorrow. Everyone's gonna get to do all the stations. So we're just gonna rotate throughout the 2 hours, and it's gonna fly by. It's gonna be a blast.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I will be out there tomorrow morning alongside a lot of individuals of this community. And at this time, over 100 individuals, man, registered for the event. How
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah, I'm just blown away at how much support poured into this. I mean, I joined the Isotopes 2 months ago.
Yeah, they've told
and-
us since you did, they regret that.
And I have to be honest, we had a late start to advertising it and still had this huge turnout. And it's just amazing. And folks want to be a part of something special like this across the community, whether it's Special Olympics or Climbing Tree or all kinds of different organizations that help folks of all abilities. It's just going to be great. And the Isotopes are going to be a huge part of it. Our staff, we've got about 10 members of our staff. We have players and our pitching coach, Coach Chris, is going to join us. We're really excited. I can't believe it's tomorrow.
Ivan, you are aware, Ivan hosted the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network Gala this past year.
Sure,
We
he
were
did.
so very fortunate to raise, from my recollection, well over $200,000 in an effort to help that community.
You guys are the veterans in this world. I'm brand new to being so intimately a part of it. I got to cover these amazing events for such a long time, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
but it's worth it at the end of the day. And yeah, tomorrow, this next event with the Play Ball Weekend. Yeah, it starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
You are a special blend. Sorry to cut you off, man. You are a special brand, Brandon, of community, right? Of entertainer and of try hard. And those are all my favorite things. Like when you put those into a community effort, keep in mind, I think this full transparency, all 3 of us are on the board of directors at the YMCA.
Yeah.
Like we all super try hard to help others. And this is going to be a really good example of that from you and the Isotopes to this community.
I would like to say Brandon is high effort.
Yeah.
Fred, you are a tryhard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a big difference here. You know, as somebody who used to work in the field, before
Yeah.
Fred Slow fooled me into going into the sports entertainment. There is always a social worker sized hole in my heart. And the fact that this program gets to help out with stuff like this, I'd like to say thank you to both of you gentlemen for participating and running this thing this year.
You guys are my big brothers in Albuquerque. You guys have shown me so much in the 5+ years we've been getting to be a part of each other's lives. You guys just lead by example. And that has totally helped me in these first few months with the Isotopes and all. There's just like little things every day that you work on for months and months to put an event like this together. And especially our boy Fred here. I mean, he's a machine when it comes to event planning and organizing. And you guys are both just amazing in the community. So thank you guys for teaching me.
The event is free and open to individuals of all ages with disabilities. The crack of the bat and the cheer of the crowd are sounds everyone should experience. And they can tomorrow at Roadrunner Little League, where you can come out with the Isotopes and the Play Ball Adaptive Baseball Clinic, a free event designed to introduce the joy of baseball to individuals of all ages with physical or intellectual disabilities, 9 to 11 a.m. tomorrow. I promise you it's not that hot. Come out and hang. Are you going to feed everyone?
We'll have
What's
some
up?
shade structures. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is providing lunch
Let's go.
to the participants.
Right.
And for the folks that show up early, which you got a lot of people showing up early, we'll get some breakfast burritos for the folks that are helping us put this on. And it's just the beginning of a long day. And then we got mariachi night tomorrow night. So our staff's going to be just burning the all-day oil, not just the midnight oil. We're going to be working hard all day long. But this is what it's all about. This is what you sign up for when you work for a great organization in minor league baseball.
I mean, mariachis is going to be a banger tomorrow night. Those crush.
Oh, every time. I'm honored to say I was here for the first in 2018, and this place was just electric, and it's just a different form of electricity every time we have the mariachis and just the different theme nights we do, whether it's the lowrider nights and having the mariachis in the concourse, and of course, folks love the merchandise, the hats and the shirts, and the vibes are always great for mariachi nights. So all day long, the Isotopes are going to be having a lot of fun.
Thank you to the Recognition Place for giving us an opportunity to sit down with Brandon and talk with he about the Adaptive Clinic this weekend, 505-881-9003 or info@trpnm.com, where you can reach out to Jason and his team over there, and they will take care of you for your recognition needs, up to including team trophies and all kinds of fun endeavors. All right, so I got a question for you, Brandon. And I need the most honest answer that you've ever given.
You don't have to be honest.
You're
familiar with the program.
I need to know if you only took this job with the Isotopes 2 months ago so you can get yourself a bobblehead night.
What's funny is that my office is filled with bobbleheads now. Like, now I get to help facilitate them for our donations to all the great organizations that we work with.
Give us a number. We want a bobblehead.
Yeah, I do get the hookup. I'm not gonna lie. I do get the hookup. So
no, we don't want ones that you made. We want the 2 men on bobblehead. Like, what amount of money? Like, what is the donation number we have to give?
Our boy Dylan walking by us right now would probably know that information better than I.
Dylan Storm, we need a 2 men on bobblehead. You just said
thumbs up. Thumbs up.
In true Dylan Storm fashion, he nodded his head.
Are we
just
talking
like a bobblehead?
two full caricatures? Are we talking like one and then 2 heads? Or we could go a lot of ways with this.
If it could be obviously 2 bodies, but in one oversized jersey.
Yeah.
Yes, and then our heads coming out of it.
Sure.
I believe that would be the one.
I mean, I think
you guys have thrown first pitch, a couple times now? I think after a certain amount of first pitches.
Well, we haven't been asked back.
Bobblehead capabilities there.
If I got an idea.
All right.
Victor Perez style chest bump bobbleheads.
Okay, this is smart.
Yeah.
To where we're doing a chest bump, but it's
it's really just van jumping
bump.
And Fred just stand, because if Fred jumps, that's hard to hit that chest for anybody. So
I feel like we could raise it. Like, if we held like a wiffle ball tournament at Roadrunner Little League, came up with the funds, use those funds to help Isotopes and Isotopes charitable initiatives, and then had a bobblehead. And what is it usually? First 2,000 fans, or what is it?
Yeah, about 2.
Okay,
maybe 3. Usually 2.
Let's double it. 4,000.
I mean, what's the capacity?
Go
here?
big
what's
or
the
go
capacity?
home.
What, like 12,000 here? Is that what you can get? 12,000 bobbleheads.
I feel like 14-ish.
That's the
15-ish?
most asked question we ever get.
Yeah, when is your bobblehead?
When's your bobblehead night?
And then folks are going to be spending the night night before
the
to
demand
line
is
up
there.
for the bobblehead turnout never ceases to amaze me.
No.
It's always just really strong.
And we will stand only at the home plate entrance because we don't slum with the outfield entrances.
McKernan Hall.
Thank you. And we will autograph.
Okay.
Every single one.
All right. You got it all laid out.
We'll do it either.
What's left for me to do? I mean,
either-
you got it all laid out.
Are we autographing the box or are we autographing the head? Like, what's our.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all the above.
One more time, the details on tomorrow, Brandon.
Yeah, play ball, adaptive clinic for the Isotopes, play ball weekend nationwide, and 9 to 11 at Roadrunner Little League. Folks of all abilities will be on the field. It's going to be a blast, and thanks for letting me talk about it, guys. What an honor.
Where's sunscreen?
Yeah.
Shady
Hats.
hat.
Got my hat right here, ready to go. Might wear my mariachi hat tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.
You already picked
Got
out
that.
your fit?
Got the I do that more now than when I did at KOB. I had just a rack of clothes that I would choose in my closet at KOB. But now I don't know. I think I do plan it more. Like I planned out this is my Friday shirt. So there you go.
I love
Purple
this
Fridays.
so much.
There you go.
It's like the
Not that anyone needs to know that, but
It's the Tiger
they know
Woods approach.
red for Sunday. Sunday red. I'll start it. No one's gonna join, but I'll start it.
Well, if you wear red tomorrow on Trump's birthday, like I think people would be into that. Is that an idea you want to
Definitely
do?
wearing mariachi colors tomorrow.
So,
I'm
you're
going-
saying no?
I'm going mariachis tomorrow. It's mariachis night.
You
You
don't
wearing mariachis all day long. Mariachis t-shirt in the morning.
Yeah.
Mariachi polo for work. Boom.
Love it.
It's turning 79.
Thought this was for America.
No. It's his birthday.
Oh,
I'm gonna wear red.
I'm gonna wear work clothes.
I think I have
That'll
a
work.
Dukes jersey. Maybe I'll throw on a Dukes jersey. That would look cool.
They're red too.
Let's go.
Isn't there a blue one though? Isn't there a purple?
You know,
there a
hey,
black one?
We know a guy.
Gray one?
Yeah,
Steve's got all the colors, right?
he's got them all
Saw him the other day.
at the
Missed-
Dukes store.
missed that guy. No, he was here.
Lucky you.
Oh, picking up ticks because the Dukes.
Picking up the ticks.
Yeah, Dukes Day is coming up. That's in August.
Be here before we know it. It's already mid-June, guys. How is it already mid-June?
Van and I are going to work the point of sale at the Dukes pop-up kiosk here on Dukes Night.
Okay.
Same thing. We will autograph.
I was supposed to last year. Then I got rain. I got my flight got canceled from Texas, and then it got rained out anyway. So
Yeah,
bummer.
but it got delayed, and I know the kiosk did very well because people just hung
that
out.
helps.
Yeah.
That actually helped. So that only made it busier.
Concourse is rocking during rain delays, baby.
Yeah. Speaking of which, it's going to get rocking here in just a few minutes. Doors open, what, 5 minutes? 6 minutes? Let's go.
We should do celebrity softball before that Dukes game. Can you set that up?
I was going to be a part of that the last time that was scheduled, and then, boom, canceled. All the fun stuff gets canceled when I get signed up.
Hey, if the adaptive clinic doesn't happen tomorrow, you might as well quit.
No.
If they cancel that-
Sun is shining. Sunshine and sunsets all weekend.
Good job, Brandon. It's 2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
.610 The Sports Animal. The boys are live at the ballpark. Van Nunley, Fred Slow,
Hello.
Zay Johnson back at the studio. And we just talked about how incredible the recognition place is. And who do we have here right now? The recognition place, Jason York. Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, gentlemen. Thanks for having me again. Always good to see you guys. Hang out.
Can we talk about the most important thing before we talk about Jason?
Go on.
I just wanted to open my
Drink up.
What do I have?
Yeah.
All right, I have watermelon walk-off.
What did you get me?
Does anyone want to trade?
I'll trade you.
What do you
want
have?
to try the cherry limeade? That's the new Lobos
All right,
cherry
I'm
limeade.
trading you. So I have cherry limeade from Teller.
I got the watermelon walk-off. See, Jason, you
Grapefruit
got
hibiscus.
my all-time favorite.
Oh,
that one's incredible.
This is really good. I have had this before.
Jason York, welcome. You accidentally wore a Dodgers jersey. Do you want to go through that logic?
No accident. Just in the place that kind of promoted that, actually, here when this was the old sports stadium. So walking through these old grounds, as a kid, as you guys all know, living here in Albuquerque in the 80s and 90s, the Dukes were very popular. So being here, being a Dodgers fan growing up and not changing. But when the Isotopes had the Dodgers as their farm team, it was nice for a while. So since then, it's hard to pull away from the Dodgers. I can't do that, not since childhood.
Well, I mean, you don't divert from your childhood team. You stay loyal.
No, and especially here, being here, just so many childhood memories. Meetings with Tommy Lasorda. I had some down there just chatting away when there was just a few hundred people in the stands, and he'd talk to kids. So good chats with Tommy and seeing players. Oh yeah, and seeing the greatness that this place is now. I mean, it's such a beautiful ballpark every time. They do something new, and it's great.
Did you ask Tommy Lasorda for his gravy recipe? Because I heard it's incredible. I haven't been able to get my hands on the real recipe.
I did not. No, I was a little too young to know he was that good at that. I wish I would have kept that with me all these years.
I mean, he made his own marinara sauce for a long time. Lasorda's, I remember.
They're good fellas. Good to Albuquerque too.
So. Whenever you as you walk in now as an adult versus when you were walking as a kid, do you see it different? Is the emotion the same? Van and I are transplants. We don't have this connection that you have.
Well, this, plaza here with all the restaurants and the vendors and everything, something that wasn't around back then. This area was closed off. This was probably, I think, the clubhouse area, and this right here. And so the stands was covered, and but you could have more access to the players back then. So that's just kind of one of those things where you keep seeing, hey, you guys got a hat. How cool.
Well,
these are legit super sweet.
They are.
So this is New Mexico Aging Service is sponsored giveaway hat tonight, which is incredibly nice. You have one on. We now have them. And New Mexico, and I just caught up with New Mexico Aging Service during the break. They're going to join us on the program next week, Van.
Ooh, I love that.
They got a lot of cool things going on over there. So
we should have Jason recognize them.
Jason, that's your thing now, dude.
Yes, that's what I do. I would love to.
What are you making for Trump's birthday tomorrow? Are people ordering a lot of stuff?
King's Day. I had some people come in asking about that.
What are you making? What was the weirdest request you had?
Just engrave on a glass or Yeti, style like that. Do a little odd thing sometimes that people give as a gag gift.
What do you upcharge? Oh, if it's a gag gift, you don't upcharge?
Yeah, depends. No, there's rushing too. We did a lot of Father's Day gifts coming into this weekend, so that was nice. A lot of knives, popular Father's Day gifts. We did flasks. So
that is a good one.
Those are always good ways to recognize something that people can use. They can use every day, which is why Yetis are so popular.
I think they're the number one thing I see at the Goodwill.
Dang, Yetis?
I think so.
No way.
A Goodwill.
No one gets rid of a good Yeti.
No, they don't get rid of it.
Maybe the knockoffs.
Yeah.
They get left at the gym, and then the gym donates them
good point.
in mass. When I was running the sports and wellness, we would get hundreds of them just left behind. And I would take them down in my truck to the Goodwill, and then that's where they lived.
Makes sense.
For minutes. I don't know how long they would stay. I think it's you're talking about, obviously, the engraving and all the stuff you can do with them and the printing, and they do look cool. They're cool gifts. I don't think I ever caught the hype.
Just something to keep with you all day, keep the beverage. consistent temp.
It's like what is it, like a safety blanket though? Like what is it
Yeah,
emotional support Yeti?
Those Stanleys, those thermoses, you used to go camping with, those that you'd spin off the top. Or
The green one, yeah.
those have been around forever, and I think it just kept going with it, something different. Add those fancy colors too. As you know, when you add some fancy colors to stuff, it makes it pop. And
like this cool hat.
Yeah, like these hats, which
New
are
Mexico Aging
so
Services.
sweet.
No, you are right in that aspect. Because if everyone's going to have it, at least make it your own. We have those. You make all of our stuff for Duke City Championship Wrestling, and we have those cups, and they stayed on the shelves for about a minute. People love that stuff. That's
Correct.
my coffee cup every day.
Yeah, well, you use it every day. People drink water every day, coffee, alcoholic beverages in the evening.
Statistically, you're probably right.
Makes it a good, consistent business too.
Yeah.
We're grateful because of that. So
when Kiki Hernandez pitches for your Dodgers, how stoked do you get?
Depends on what the score is. I mean, if he's coming in the sixth, it's probably not good. But sometimes the Dodgers are up the other way. So wait till Shohei. They're just gearing up. I was thinking about they're close to the Patriots, who just coast through the regular season, and then in the playoffs they'll have their pitchers back and they'll be ready.
They're not going to be a 112 win team.
No,
No.
we'll get to 100 and
maybe 106. I want to be and this is the most cliche thing. If they were to do 19 of 20 or 18 of 20, I would go. This makes sense.
At any moment, they could do that. Once they're at full strength, you saw what they did when they were healthy at the beginning of the year. I mean, I could see them going on another run just like that.
Totally. We'll see how the year progresses when Shohei finally pitches, if he does pitch. But I think Snell will be back, and it'll be a good team. Get healthy.
Oh,
Oscar
he'll
will hit.
pitch. He'll pitch.
I know he will. They've said he could have pitched last year, so
He's only worth $1 billion if he pitches. Otherwise, he's only worth $500 million.
Oh,
I mean, 50-50 is still pretty good as a batter. It's not worth $1 billion, but it's still worth a good chunk. I mean, he might play the position someday. I don't know why he doesn't play first base here and there, but I guess you got to just let him rest.
Well, at the end, he will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8-10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. And with the way, there'll be somebody else, right? Somebody else will, in the next 10 years, come up in DH for the Dodgers for sure. But they will still keep him in a position where he can be relatively guarded at first base.
They're lucky that the NL got the DH a few years ago like that.
That's the best thing that's ever happened to baseball.
I agree. At least make it even on both sides.
The AL having DH in the NL that was dumb.
Yes.
I'm glad they fixed that. But me, Gran Torino in my rocking chair on the front porch, I want pitchers to hit.
Oh, there was a beautiful aspect of the game when pitchers were up there trying to get on base. They were some of the best bunters too. So that part of the game is definitely
that part is gone now.
So that's the sad part of that. So I'm glad they picked one way or the other, and I am kind of with you on there. It would have been nice if they were still hitting, but it is good to see 1 through 9 that can mostly hit.
There's no giant gaping holes in your roster that's going to just embarrass themselves a couple times a game.
Definitely no B holes.
Correct.
Batters.
Yes.
Batters. That's what he's talking about.
Yes.
Correct.
Jason York continues with us when we get back from the break. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We're live at the ballpark. It's going to start soonish.
Getting there.
Jason York is with us.
Gates have been open for 10-ish minutes, and this place is rocking.
I was going to say, it's going to be a good crowd tonight.
And I didn't remember until just now.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday,
They're
Jason
doing-
Day.
They're doing
My
the
day.
special Friday the 13th giveaways today.
Yep.
Oh,
The unlucky drawing. It's a cool idea.
They're cleaning out
Is that
the
what it
prize
is?
closet is what
Yes.
they're doing.
It's exactly what they're doing.
It's 100% what they're doing. It's awesome.
it's a good idea.
I like it.
Got to get that merch.
How hard are you rooting for the Pacers for no reason?
A lot, 110. I mean, no, I don't know. I think the OKC ballooned their head. They should have been doing a lot better from the start with this Pacer team. In fact, that they're not. I don't know. It's good to see the Pacers do what they're doing. I'll tell you that. It's good finals. Good hockey finals, too. I mean,
What is that?
that was a good overtime game last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Come back. Didn't see your girl T Swift and your homeboy, Mr.
Now-
Kelsey there.
I see that he has become a Ohio-style human being now. His look, Van, I don't know if you saw Travis Kelsey last night, had the
He's-
long hair, center part, 5 o'clock shadow.
I had the same haircut in middle school.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to say that my very serious relationship with my billionaire girlfriend is the reason why
Billion.
I changed my entire existence.
Sure.
But I would do that.
He's done some code switching.
I mean,
Yeah.
would you?
Yeah, well, all you had to do was stop saying it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Uh-huh.
You know, like,
Yeah,
easy.
very true. Well, it's interesting. The relationship is going to continue to be forever, so as long as it lasts. But no, the NBA Finals, Pacers, good to see them. We can transition back.
I mean, there's been so many opportunities for the Thunder to just put them out of their misery every game. But you let them hang
Every
around.
game,
You
yep.
let them hang around. And then, boom, next thing you know, you're getting Halliburtoned.
What's that most overrated player label going to look like if they win?
Oh, it's already gone. Oh, it's gone now.
For all the players that voted for that, it's pretty good. Especially that haven't won a chip or even come close.
I hope, like, they release that list.
Right?
Like they air quotes, release the steroid list in Major League Baseball.
There's a lot of lists that need to be released.
Are you talking about Epstein?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
We could continue on, but that's
Has anybody tried to have you engrave Epstein's flight log?
Yeah, that's a good question.
flight log. That'd be good. I could ask for handwriting engravings, but not the Epstein log. That would be a good one.
Yet.
We do some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until me and Fred come into the shop Monday morning.
You're always welcome.
Hey.
Give me your projections, boys, on tonight's game.
Well, I've been wrong very, very often.
Every time.
So I'm gonna say, no, I was right in game 2. I'm gonna say Thunder by 20. Bounce back game. Even out the series, make it look like it's going 7. Save these ratings for the NBA's sake.
Ooh, they can only hope. I don't know. I think the Pacers can still win. Push it to 3 games to 1. Yeah, I got Pacers by 6.
Ooh.
You also have the Pacers in 6, so that's interesting.
Correct.
All right. Isaiah?
So,
Yeah, I'm done betting against them. I'm going to go ahead and just lean into it and say Pacers by about 6, like Jason said. I think that's a good prediction.
I got a couple noteworthy
Are
ones.
you just gonna Price is Right, Jason, and do actually Pacers by 5?
Yeah. Noteworthy for this one, Indiana's 3-0 in game 4s in the playoffs this year. Oklahoma City Thunder are 5-0 following a loss in the postseason.
something's got to give.
Yeah, it's immovable.
Still got Pacers.
If Benedict does what he did last game,
He was great.
it was unreal.
Proved his worth for a game at least.
He'll definitely make Team Canada next time.
It's the most points off the bench since 2011 in a finals. That was Jason Terry.
Jason Terry.
Who you remember
Mavs? Or
gave himself that tattoo before the season even started, which was wild. That's the coolest move of all time.
Such a power move.
Baller. It works 1 in a million.
It's not that high, but
well, I mean,
guys try that prediction.
It does if you count non-basketball players.
Yeah, that prediction in general.
Well, I got some bad news for you three who all took Indiana. They will lose tonight.
I did not say that. You weren't listening. You got OKC.
You said by 20. That wasn't a real prediction.
By 20, yes. OKC is back, baby.
I got OKC by 10. I think it's going to be.
Oh, that's barely winning.
In this series. That 9 points yesterday seemed like the most, yesterday, 2 days ago, seemed like the most insurmountable amount of points when Indiana was out in front.
Well, because it was 2 points and you blinked and it was 9 right before the
pressure Indiana brings pretty relentlessly is nice to see.
Yeah, they don't. They're not afraid to play from behind. Obviously, I think we talked about it. They've only been in the lead for like 10% of the total game time or whatever, and their largest lead of this entire series was the final score of 9 to whatever, by 9, whatever. This one in Indiana, I don't think they're going to be able to capture that twice. And I think not that that's going to be a lull by any means, but I mean, worst case scenario, you're tied after 4 of them. And I think
still in a good place.
Yeah. Is Caitlin Clark playing?
I heard she's back.
She'll come off the bench.
She could come off the bench in the NBA.
No, she could not.
She could play 10 good minutes.
For the Hornets?
For any team. She would be incredible on Golden State.
There's no way that's true.
Clay comes off the court. Caitlin Clark comes on, puts some threes in the basket, gets a couple
she
smacks.
She can get buckets.
She'll get a couple shots smacked into the second level in the crowd, but still, she'll hit some threes.
Her and Tyrese Halliburton did like a thing where they were like, "We love Indiana. We're going to be here forever."
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
That's quite the statement there.
Yep.
That said no one ever.
Yeah. Tell me.
He didn't even say that. Sorry.
No, he did not. No one's ever been like, I choose Indiana.
Exactly. Peyton hasn't claimed it. He almost claims Denver more sometimes, I feel like.
I don't blame him.
I know he claims Tennessee. He actually also claims Louisiana, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even his thing.
You can't just claim a quarter of the union.
Everything but.
Yeah.
I didn't know Terry Crews was a Pacers fan. That was cool to see.
He didn't know he was a Pacers fan until his PR company told him to be.
Is that what it was?
I don't buy into any of that stuff.
All right. I mean, at a low celebrity team like that.
They are somebody. Right? Yeah.
What, was he sitting in the Old Spice suite?
No, you're not wrong, right? If you're going to be like, hey, I need a little bit of attention, where can I get that on a national scene where less than 9 million people are watching?
Now, hey, and do it for cheap.
Super cheap.
It's not like you had to get front row seats at Madison Square Garden. Well, it's not like you had to get front row seats at Crypto.
The Colts
here in Indiana is probably like $130.
Well, and the round trip flight is $120. And the Colts just changed their season ticket rules. Did you see this? So it was because it's obviously centrally located and fans can get there. There was some crazy percent, like more than 50% of season ticket holders for the Colts sold 100% of their tickets last year. And the Colts were like, no,
you can't do that.
You guys are gone now.
That's not good.
Because if your option is to go see your team play in Chicago or go see your team play in Indianapolis, one's a little cheaper.
Just right there. Yeah. Just right down the street.
Quite the amount of teams in that small area.
I think a lot of people are saying this Oklahoma City team had one of the best seasons of all time, obviously. They have one of the best individual seasons of all time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that SGA is a all-time bopper, but I'm going to tell you with some really big names still in the NBA, he had the most bopping season. This would be an all-time collapse.
I agree.
Disagree. The Pacers have been incredible since the calendar hit 2025.
Well, it's not a total collapse. It is a Pacer, strong performance. But, yeah, I don't know. I think OKC still had enough
I think the majority of the sports world will look at it as an Oklahoma City Thunder loss, not an Indiana Pacers win.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the last game was definitely a Pacers win. So
Yeah, but it's not till the very end, right? Because I have the numbers right here. In the first 3 games, Indiana is chasing 33 and a point differential in the first 3 quarters, but they're plus 27 in the fourth quarter.
when it matters,
Or is it Oklahoma City running out of gas? Or is it
either way, I don't know. They've played about the same amount of games. So and the OKC is what, the second youngest team in the NBA, something like that.
Yeah.
So
Something.
that shouldn't be an excuse.
I don't know if the excuses are it, though. I think it's explanation, right? To
Yeah.
where you're like, hey, I've had this, I think, by age, the youngest team in the NBA in Oklahoma City, and you think they can just run all day, and you think they can do that thing. And here at however many games we are into the year now, almost 100, that there's just no gas left in the tank.
Very well.
Or
Good point.
SGA didn't get to go to the free throw line 20 times.
Well, there's that too.
He only shot 6 free throws. That's a huge difference.
Jason, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me, guys.
You're going to enjoy the game with your fam?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. We're going to enjoy handing the game off to Josh Sushan in the Isotopes when we get back.
I will be cheering for Isotopes for this. So
One more time, the phone number of the recognition place.
505-881-9003.
Info at trpnm.com or go to the website, trpnm.com. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, baby.
2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 Men On with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. Production note, Van, before we bring in Josh Sushan.
Sir.
In-ring voice of Duke City Championship Wrestling, ring announcer Adam Merrick welcomed it to the world today, baby Alexander.
Oh,
let's
love
go.
That. Congratulations, dude.
Grayson Alexander, born today, 6 pounds, 2 ounces, 19 3/4 inches. So celebrate him on Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday when you see him at Duke City Championship Wrestling.
I will tell him all of the congratulations.
There we go. Josh Sushan, welcome.
There's a lot going on the concourse right now.
Yes.
You've got the 2 Men On.
Let's go.
You've got this Friday the 13th unlucky prizes that people are registering for.
Was this your idea?
No.
Okay.
I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I just broadcast. I don't like it when people tell me how to do my job, so I stay out of the way and let other people do their job.
Now, hold on.
You got free booze there, and you got free booze over there, and you got the autograph signing.
We have free booze.
Just the broadcaster? How dare you insult yourself? Nobody talks about my friend Josh like that. You're more than just a broadcaster. You're the face of this whole thing. Some people...
I'm literally not the face of this thing. I'm on radio.
A very limited amount of people think Orbit.
Yeah.
Everyone else,
the minute
Josh Sushan.
And our friends at PepsiCo.
If you were to do like a ranking of like
Dion's
the faces of the Isotopes, okay. Orbit's 1.
Teller.
Dylan is 2.
Are we on Stormwatch right now?
So hard disagree. Orbit 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Winton Bernard 4.
Okay. Winton has not played for us in 2 years, but he's still the face of the organization.
You know he is.
I don't know why we haven't put him in the Hall of Fame already, even though he's still playing.
He'll be back.
We ran into Tim McKernan the other day. So he came out to the Duke store where we're at. And if friend of the show, if you don't know the history of the McKernans here in town, it's worth learning. And obviously family name is here on the building and the history of coverage and broadcasting and all those other things. And he just starts telling us like tremendous stories about the Dukes a million years ago, about the Isotopes whenever, in 2000. And it's so fun when people are able to share like their history and personal knowledge of the team. How many stories do you hear? Like as you do move through the concourse, like do they ever pull you to the side? And maybe it's erroneous. Their facts are wrong. Their years are wrong. But the emotion, like talk to us about whenever you interact with fans and they're able to give you that emotion.
My favorite is when they say, I saw Steve Sachs play in Albuquerque. I saw Fernando Valenzuela play in Albuquerque. And I go, I hate to break it to you, but they literally never played in Albuquerque. Like Steve Sachs' brother played here. Yeah. You saw Dave Sachs, the catcher, but you literally did not see Steve Sachs because he went straight from Double-A, and so
was
Fernando.
His brother, Alto?
Yes.
Dave Alto.
Alto Sachs.
Yeah. Oh.
It's okay. You don't get them all.
But that's, to me, the funny part about memories, right? People just associate Dodgers, 80s, Dukes, I was a kid, and they just go, oh, yeah, I saw Steve Sachs. I saw Fernando. I just saw some guy steal a belt.
That's the creator of the belt.
Okay.
Yeah. Jason York of the recognition plays, showing off his handiwork.
The championship belt that we have here at the broadcast table is more popular than the broadcast.
You're not kidding.
I mean, you would say that if Jim Rome was down here. I mean, it's a championship belt.
Sure.
I own so many of them with my wrestling company.
But to your point about like telling the stories, even today we were down batting practice on the field. Michael Ryan is telling stories about how far Dallas McPherson hit home runs in 2008, right? Later, I'm in the dugout, and it's Owen Miller and Pedro Lopez and Chris Mahalik. And somehow we start talking about like Robin Yount, right? Because Owen Miller played shortstop yesterday, and he's in center field today, and that's what Robin Yount did. And all of a sudden, people just start talking about like Robin Yount stories. Like the oral history of baseball to me is so much fun. When guys, or whether it's the cage, the dugout, whatever, and guys just start telling stories, and they're like, really? Wow, that is cool.
I think the one I like is whenever you're at the ballpark, not in a professional capacity, not broadcasting a game, not being quote unquote on, but if you get a chance to sit down next to an old timer, you get a chance to sit down next to someone who maybe hasn't spent their whole lives watching the ISS, but they've spent their whole lives watching a baseball game, and to just share stories for 3 hours over the one thing that at least I am incredibly passionate about with they is as unique of an entertainment and viewing experience as you can have with any media.
I remember when I first started going to spring training in the late 80s, early 90s, first with grandparents and dad, and then with college buddies. And just the number of stories that you would just hear people telling about, like, oh, I remember watching Willie McCovey. I saw Willie Mays, you know, like you would hear like these different stories from those old timers, like you're talking about, even hearing those from, you know, my grandfather, the old timer who's related to me. And so those are just like really fun memories. And then, you know, and then years later, like, remember when we saw Will Clark, you know, remember when we saw Mark McGuire? And so, I mean, I think that baseball does its generations and its history better than other sports in that way.
It's the only one that matters.
Yes.
None of the other ones matter. Football doesn't matter. Basketball doesn't matter. Tennis kind of matters. But baseball goes back for more than 100 of years.
Yeah. I heard this interesting analogy about the difference between baseball and football. And that is the most important part of the year for each sport that does not involve games. For football, it's the draft.
Sure.
Right? You're looking forward. For baseball, it's the Hall of Fame. You're looking back, right? Baseball is all about the history. It's about looking back. It's about reflecting. Football is all about tomorrow, the draft, the combine. Who did we draft? Are we going to tank for the draft? Draft. It's always about forward. Baseball's like, no, we gotta know our history. We gotta embrace our history.
Who's the player in your experience who gets the most fabled stories? Is it like a Ricky Henderson, a Yogi Berra, Babe Ruth? Like when people like approach you and tell you a baseball story, you're like, oh, here's another one that's not true about Ricky. Like,
yeah, I'm that party guy who's like, nope, that's a wrong story. The John Olerud story, sorry, buddy, that's not true. That's just factually incorrect. You need to get your facts right, bro.
Grow up.
You know, I think that in the, you know, it's sort of like by the generations, right? In the 80s, it was about dudes in the 60s and 70s. So it was Willie Mays, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into the 90s, and it was about guys in the 70s and 80s. You had a lot of Ricky Henderson stories, I guess, into like the 2000s.
Yeah.
You probably don't get as many Ricky Henderson stories now. Now it's more like Ken Griffey Jr. stories that you might hear. You know, I always think it reminds me of how old I am whenever I ask a guy like, oh, who was your favorite player growing up? And when they mention someone who's still active now, and you're like, oh yeah, he's just a kid.
Yeah. Where I grew up in the middle of the country, St. Louis, Missouri, the guy that had the craziest stories was Al Arboski.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the mad Hungarian.
Yes.
Pitched for the Cardinals, obviously. Pitched for the Cubs, I think, too. And bounced around the league a little bit. But he got into the broadcast booth for the Cardinals and was just, like, prominent around town. And it was equal numbers baseball-related and equal numbers nightlife-related.
Yeah.
And you were like, Al Arboski.
When I first started, for friends of the show, I was a newspaper reporter for 10 years before I got into broadcasting. And so I wrote for the Oakland Tribune. And I loved just, like, when other reporters would tell me, they're taking me under their wing, like, hey, just talk baseball to this guy, right? And so, like John Miller, you know, I would just go over and I would just like wind up John Miller, just give him a topic and then just let him go, you know, or even like clubhouse manager, Steve Vucinich, the longtime Oakland A's clubhouse manager. He started as a bat boy at age like 12, the first year of the A's. He's just like this walking encyclopedia of the A's. So just like finding those different people at the ballpark, and then you just team up. We just had Bobby Meacham a couple of years ago as a hitting coach, and every day, not every day, but a lot of days I would be like, tell me a George Steinbrenner story.
Yeah.
Tell me another Billy Martin story. Tell me another Don Mattingly story that you haven't told me before. And it blew my mind hearing these different stories about these guys.
He was telling me stories one day at the Adaptive Clinic, which, by the way, is tomorrow. But a couple of years ago, he's at the Adaptive Clinic, and he spent a little bit of time in the St. Louis, Missouri area. And we're talking about independent league baseball and like cities that no one should ever have a reason to go to.
Right.
And you go, this is the playing baseball is a game. This is the life, though. This is the experience.
It's just funny the things you hear around the cage too, right? You know, like most of which are not suitable to be used on air, but it's just funny. Just somebody says something and then it just gets it going, right? And it just gets the conversation going. And so like those are some of my funnest moments too, is just leaning against the cage and just listening, adding, you know, I don't want to add too much. I like to mostly just be a fly on the wall, but add something to maybe that keeps going the conversation. It's just fun.
I love like you mentioned the history, and like it's different for every generation of, you know, baseball fan that grows up. And we interview people every Friday when we're here, Isotopes players. And I was asking catcher Braxton Fulford about, the sea change and having one leg down all the time. And I was like, the first guy to ever do that was Benito Santiago. And he was like, who?
Oh,
and
man.
I was like, oh, wait. I'm 20 plus years older than you. Of course you don't know a random baseball player from before you were born.
He's not random. He was the rookie of the year. He threw dudes out from his knees. He played for like 9 teams. He was the MVP of the 2002 National League Championship Series against the Cardinals.
And Van had made a joke earlier whenever we had Bradley Blaylock on that he was the nephew of Mookie Blaylock. Okay, obviously this is not factual.
Yeah.
Have you broadcast a father or a son or a relative kind of thing, and you're now ellipsing multiple decades of coverage?
The Eric Young Jr. and Sr. is the one that immediately comes to mind.
Yeah,
nice.
Glenellen Hill's son is about to become like one because I think he's at single A or double A with the Rockies, so that's about to be another one. Even like the Holiday kids, right? Matt Holiday was coming back from retirement, doing a comeback bid.
Yeah.
His kids are just hanging out in the outfield every day, just playing baseball. And then a few years after that, one of them's the number 1 overall pick, and the other one's about to be the number 1 overall pick.
It's funny you mentioned the Matt Holiday one because when he was rehabbing here, we were here watching.
Yeah.
And hit one out of the park.
Yes.
Hit one out of Isotope Stadium. 2 days later, we find ourselves in Denver.
He gets called up to play in the Cardinals. So Van and I watch him in back-to-back games here at the Isotopes and then in Colorado.
Yeah.
That might be one of my favorite sports moments is being at Coors Field with, what's the real number, 44,000?
Yeah.
With 44,000 fans. And you know how the Cardinals nation travels fandom-wise. But when Matt Holiday's up to bat, it's 44,000 cheering fans.
Yeah.
Rockies and Cardinals united.
And he hits
for one at bat.
He hits a walk-off against the Cardinals in his first game called up. And heaven is real.
Yeah.
I was in it.
That's pretty cool. I just got goosebumps. Yeah, just any time that fans of both teams are cheering for somebody.
Yeah.
I remember the first time Miguel Tejada came back to Oakland when he was with the Orioles. And standing ovation, like everyone loved Miggy.
Yeah.
Right?
Gosh, you did really good today.
Well, you guys helped me, and you guys were outstanding.
Also, that was a perfect example of baseball lore because it wasn't a walk-off. It was a pinch hit after a standing ovation.
And a sac fly.
Yeah. No, it was a home run, though.
Josh, you're the best. He gone. Isaiah back at the studio.
Pacers
Welcome.
in 6. Pacers in 6. Thank you.
Yep.
And put in your prize picks.
I got some good ones today. I'm going to do well. Van, final words?
Oh, my goodness. Too much for the time allotted, my friend. Anything that we didn't cover on the program today, check out Monday morning on the opening drive with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you next week, Burke.